Hello. Okay, welcome to Adobe Flash ActionScript 3.0 Lesson 3. Today, in today's lesson, we'll be learning about how to create animation with ActionScript. We'll learn how to do the following. We'll learn how to change the properties of a movie clip using ActionScript. We will learn how to use the enter frame event to animate movie clip properties, use a conditional statement to detect stage boundaries, use a variable to store a reference to a movie clip, use buttons to control property changes, use the Tween and easing classes to animate movie clip properties, and create custom reusable code snippets. Okay, so let's just open up our file here. So let's go over to Adobe Flash and we go open our file here. Okay, so what we gotta do is come over to our files here. I'm gonna open up our lesson 3, lesson 3 start, and we go open this file here. Okay, so we've already have our stage done here. So we've got all our few layers here. If you can see this action, the buttons are on this layer here, the second upper layer. Then there's a text field, there's instruments, there's the star, and there's the background image here. Okay, so these movie clips have instance names. For example, if I click on this one over here, you can see it's already been given a name violin. Over here, it's been given the name trumpet. This is the banjo, and this is the Glock. Okay, there's also a movie clip of a star over here, which has been given the name star_MC. Now, with ActionScript, we can actually control the properties of our different movie clips. For example, we can change the X and Y position, we can change the rotation, we can change the alpha values, that means from transparent to fully opaque. We can change the scale of X and Y, we can change the visibility settings, whether it's visible or invisible, true or false. Okay, so now we'll just use ActionScript. So let's just save this file first of all. Save as. So I'm going to just save it to my desktop, and I'm going to just call it. Okay, I'm going to create. I'm going to just come here. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it ActionScript. Okay, and I'm going to just call this. Oops, accidentally clicked this. File, save as, desktop, and I'll call it lesson 3 working copy.fla, and I'm going to save it. Okay. Yeah, so okay, so in this lesson over here, okay, we'll use ActionScript to change the position of the star movie clip. So let's just select the first frame of the actions layer. Okay, so we go to the actions panel. Actions panel. And okay, and we got to just type this into the first frame of the actions layer. So come here and just type here star_MC dot X equals to 275. So that's all. So actually what this is a very simple action which says we've got to change the X position of this movie clip, this star, to coordinates 275. You look carefully over here, the X is 64.45. So let's just save this and we got to test it now. Test the movie in test. So notice now the position has changed. So this is at position 275 and not at 64.45 just now. So that's a very simple way to change the properties. So what else can we do in the properties here? So let's just select this frame here and come over here, and we've got to just type a few more things. Star_MC dot rotation equals to 90. And then star_MC dot alpha equals to 0.5. Okay, so let's just test it again. So notice now the star has rotated to 90 degrees. It's not the same rotation as compared to this star, and also the transparency is a little bit less. It's a little bit more transparent, so it's darker because of the blue background. Okay, so another way to change the values of our movie clips here is that we can add or subtract, not just set absolute value. So for example, you can create code to change the code. So we got just type this in here, star dot underscore mc dot add event listener. Okay, mouse. I'm gonna open up this a little bit more bigger. Mouse event dot click slash rotate star, and then function rotate star mouse event void. This is a return type, and we got type here star underscore mc dot rotation plus equals to 5. What this means is that we add plus equals means we add 5 to the rotation value. So let's just test it out again. You can't really see much, but it should rotate it a little bit more by 5 degrees. Okay, so there it is. Oh, sorry, we have to click in it because there's an event listener. So notice when I click on it, it changes rotation. So notice there, now when I click on it, the star rotates. So it actually listens for a clicking event and rotates. Okay, so that's how we do that. Now, what's this one? What does that mean? Okay, what does plus equals 5 mean? It's also the same as equals to star underscore mc dot rotation plus 5. But this is a shorthand because we don't want to type star underscore mc rotation 2 times. So we just say plus equals. So it's a shorthand way of doing it. Okay. So now that we can change a movie clip property, we can also do things like use another event, which is the enter frame. Okay, so we want to change the frame rate, change the value of the movie clip at the same frame rate as the timeline so that it makes animation easier. So what we do is that we use the enter frame event. So every time it enters a new frame, this will be triggered. Okay, so it's the same method. Okay, so we got to just create another event function over here. We got to just add this on here. Add event listener event dot enter frame star move, and we got to just add one more function, star move event void. Okay, and we got to say star underscore mc dot x plus equals to 2. Okay, so that's it. So notice now every time it enters a new frame, this this star will actually move over here. Okay, so the star will actually move, and it doesn't continue onwards because it goes over to the edge of the frame over here. So that's how it does that. Okay, so what we can do is, if you want to add a conditional statement so that if it leaves the edge of the frame, we can of the stage, we can ask it to move back. So in the star move callback function here, so we just type over here, if star underscore mc dot x smaller than stage dot stage width, Then we put the increment of the movement here. Okay, and then we come here and say else star underscore mc dot x equals to 0. Okay, so that means if it's larger than the width, we'll put it back to 0. So let's try that again. Oops. Ah, is there an error here? Okay, there's an error. So let me just I had a typo error here. RA. So here, let's try one more time. There's an error here. Stage. Sorry. Stage. Okay. So notice now, as it enters each frame, it moves. As it goes across the timeline, the star moves across. And once it reaches the middle, comes over the end, it continues at the beginning of the stage here. So that's a very simple way to do that. So if we click on it, notice it still follows the other event, which is the rotation event. So if I click on it, it still turns. Okay, so that is our rotation of creating. That's how we can create animation in our using ActionScript, not just using the timeline. Okay, so in this next section, we'll create a variable to store a movie clip reference. Okay, so let's come back over here. And okay, we're just gonna leave this here. We're gonna create a variable called instrument. So let's come here, var instrument movie clip. Movie clip equals to banjo. Okay, so when we create a variable here, this is the name of a variable. This is the type of the variable. That says that what it means is they says that instrument is a type of movie, is a variable that references the movie clip, and we're going to assign it to reference the banjo movie clip. Okay, and notice over here, okay, there's actually a movie clip. Okay, so over here, there's this thing over here. Now over here, we got just put some text over here. Some text to describe what we've selected. So we got just type over here, instrument underscore text dot text equals to the banjo has been selected. Okay, so you can see here the banjo has been selected. So the word the banjo has been selected is over here. Now we got add listeners in functions to the for instruments to let the user choose the instrument. So we just got to type a few more things over here. So we got to say put here violin dot add event listener mouse event dot click on violin, banjo add event listener mouse event dot click on banjo, and we got to type a few more lines. Trumpet dot add event listener mouse event dot click on trumpet, and one more is Glock dot add event listener mouse event dot click on Glock. So function, and we got to create the various callback functions. Mouse event void. Okay, I notice I typed a typo here. So function. So you got to say instrument equals to violin instrument underscore text dot text equals to the violin has been selected. And we got just copy and paste all these functions here. So 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna just change the names very quickly. So it's on banjo. Here will be banjo. You've got type here the banjo has been selected. Okay, on violin. Okay, sorry. So next one is the trumpet. I'm going to type here the trumpet has been selected. And here will be the Glock. And here we'll say the Glock. And here we'll say the Glock. So violin, banjo, trumpet, Glock, violin, banjo, trumpet, Glock, and violin, banjo, trumpet, Glock. Okay, so let's try it out again. So do I have any errors? Oh, Glock. Sorry, so there's a G here, small g. Let's try one more time. Okay, no errors. So banjo, the violin is selected, the trumpet has been selected, the banjo has been selected, and the Glock has been selected. So notice as I click on all this, it actually can detect which of the items has been selected. Okay, so you can actually, so now that we've got this, we can actually, so it's a very simple way to set the event listeners. Now we can also do things like change movie clips properties with buttons. So we got to change the values of the instrument properties. Okay, so first for each of the 4 buttons on stage. Okay, so I'm just gonna press Option F9. Okay, so over here, I'll come over here. Okay, it's working copy, yes. Okay, so no, so you notice there are 4 buttons here: scale up, scale down, rotate, hide, show, fade out, fade in. We're gonna add a listener for all these buttons here, so that whenever you click any of these buttons, something will happen. So let's just go back to our ActionScript code here, and we can just type this. So grow button dot add event listener mouse event dot click grow shrink button dot add event listener mouse event dot click shrink. Okay. Okay, so it's a lot of work here. Okay, so I'm just gonna just do a cut and paste. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 6. 1, 2. Okay, so this rotate. This is hide. This is show. This is fade out. And this is fade in. And over here, grow, shrink, rotate, hide clip, show clip. Okay, the reason why I can't create I think one of the reasons why we don't want to use the word hide and show, because I think they're reserved words. Fade out and fade in. Okay, so that's our event listener declarations. And we're going to add a function that corresponds to every one of these functions that we declared. So again, a lot of, well, it's just typing, but it's pretty simple actually. It's just a bit tedious, but we'll get there. So we're just going to say instrument dot scale x 0.1, instrument dot scale y 0.1. So at this point you say that we got to scale it by 10% each time, and we got just got to do the same thing for shrink, but instead of plus we just got to do a minus. So that's for shrink. For rotation, over here, we just got to change this thing to rotate. Rotation, so rotate. So it's not a... And over here, instead of using scale, we just got to say rotation. Rotate plus minus 5. Okay, and we got to do the same thing for the next function, which is height clip. And instead of changing the scale X in this one, we got to change the visibility to false. Okay, and copy this one again. So instead of hide, the next one will be show. And instead of show, the show clip, this one must be changed to true. Next one will be the fade out, fade in, fade out. So fade out. And so this one will be the alpha value. And here we got to set the fade in equals to 1. Okay, and hopefully we don't have any errors, no compiler. So I selected, so let's say I select the trumpet, scale up, scale down, rotate, hide, show, hide, show, fade out, fade in, fade out, fade in, fade out, fade in, rotate, scale down. And if I choose another instrument, I can also do the same thing. Scale up, scale down, rotate, hide, show, fade out, fade in, rotate, scale up again, scale up again, and again. So as you can see, it's very easy to manipulate our different objects. Okay, so in our next part here, okay, so that's how we can change properties of movie clips. The next part we're going to learn is to demonstrate is to how do you create animation using ActionScript tweens. Now, we learned in ActionScript and in Flash that normally what we do is we add frames and we create tweens in the timeline. But for instances where there is no there's time when it's programmatically driven or by user or by events that the user interacts with the stage. So in this case, we will have to use programming to adjust the animation. Okay, so we can have interactive animation. So it's similar to what we created in the interface. What we do is we change an object over a span of time. You select the property you want to change, set an initial and final value, and you have the option of setting the amount and type of easing that you want. Okay, so what you do is that you create a new tween instance and store it in the variable. Okay, and you set, and in the parameters of the constructor, what you do is that you put in the various settings that you want in the tween. So for example, you want to have something that you want to move to the bottom over a 5-second period, and you can create a tween that says, okay, let's create a tween for this object with no ease out, XY, the beginning and end, starting value, end value, time, and that sort of thing. Value seconds. So let's just go into the code here. Okay, so for this fade out over here, so what you got to do is you got to change this one. So instead of an immediate, so notice over here, right, when I do a fade out, it changes alpha value immediately. So what, instead of fading out immediately, what we got to do is that we got to do a tween. So it tweens it out, so it fades out gradually. So you guys just come here and oops. Okay, so you guys just type this in here. var tween fade out, tween equals to new tween instrument alpha none is out. Okay, so then we're going to type here 103, the beginning. So 1 is the beginning value, 0 is the end value, 3 is the time scale, and true is going to be for the seconds. True for seconds. That means 3, and it's true for seconds. So normally this value 3 is for number of frames, but you set this to true, that means this means 3 seconds instead. Okay. And we got to change the fade out thing as well. The fade out. So notice when we created the tween, this one was automatically added to the top of our ActionScript. That means imported the tween object for our animation here. Okay, so let's just see whether this works. Undefined property none. Okay, we still need to add another import. Okay, so notice that it doesn't work because it doesn't know what is none. So we will go upstairs here, and we got to just add a few more things here. Import dot flash display dot movie clip, and then import fl transitions dot tween. Okay, so this adds, okay, but still doesn't have in and out. Okay, so it doesn't work. Okay, so we still need to add and import a few more things. For example, import .fl transitions .easing .star. Okay, so now there are no more errors. So let's just do a fade out. So notice now it fades out. So now it works because it couldn't recognize this object here. It doesn't know what is none. I don't know what is none here. So what it does that it needs this easing thing, this imports here, the none, to find out what is none here. So if I put here, so notice there's a none here. What it does is that it imports all this into our program here. So it knows that none is distinct from fl transitions.easing. So when we put a star, it actually means import all of this into our program: back, bounce, elastic, none, regular, and strong. Okay, so we'll add some tweens to our other functions. So let's go to fade in. So we got to just do the same thing. So we just got to copy this one, replace this one here. So we got to do a tween fade in. Okay, and we got to just create new instrument alpha, none ease in, no ease in. And then we got to put 0 to 1. That means we got to start from 0 to 1 over 3 seconds true. That means we got to fade in from 0 to 1. Okay, we got to do the same thing for rotate. Oops, hold on. tween, so we got cranial root, var, spin, rotation, elastic dot, ease out, zero to 360 over 5 seconds. So that's our rotate. So we notice that with this elastic ease out, it creates a rubbery type of effect. Okay, so we got rotate, fade in, fade out. So let's try and see whether this works. So let's select the violin. So notice I got a rotate, rotate, fade out, 1, 2, 3, fade out, fade in, 1, 2, 3. So it fades in again, 1, 2, 3, fade out, 1, 2, 3, fade in, 1, 2, 3, rotate, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 seconds. So that's how we do a simple animation here. Okay, so wasn't that easy just to create some animation, and it looks pretty interesting? So that's a very simple way of doing animation. So try it out on yourself. Look up in the Flash help files. Experiment with other properties. So you go to help, you go to Flash help. You can try other properties. You can try animating the text over here, and you can also try a movie clip that bounces. For example, you can try maybe something that comes here, bounces here, bounces here, bounces here, off here as well. You can try creating tweens for the other properties. For example, the grow, the shrink values here, and other types of tweens that you can try to create. If you already have something interesting that you added, you can also add it to your code snippets. So you've added something, you can even create your own code snippets and put it inside here for you to keep on using for other objects. So thank you very much. So that was the end of lesson 3 for ActionScript 3.0, and so see you in the next lesson.